John Crestani here. Now, I'm not 40 yet, but I'm going to go over 13 financial mistakes you want to avoid in your 40s. And I'm going to give you my little solutions on that. I feel like an old soul, though. I'm only 36, but I feel a lot older. So hopefully this is relevant to all y'all in the audience. Let's go. Now, the first financial mistake is no plan, right? No plan of what you're doing with your money. Now, in your 40s, you're gonna be at the height of your earning potential, your income potential. Your income, traditionally it's the highest of any decade you'll be at, even though wealth is higher as you get older in your 50s and 60s, but your income's the highest. And that's going to cause changes, right? You might be motivated to, spend money on a car or, like a new house or upgrade some things. But, the reality is you need to have a plan around these things. Now, I earn probably more than most people in their, 40s. But, from my experience, I feel like I've led an accelerated life. I don't know why, but, I'm just very active or energetic or whatever. But my plan is basically my life. I live, and you hear I have a business making over $500,000 a month, but I live off of 20 grand a month. That's my salary, quote unquote. And if my business does, makes profits, then at the end of the year, I just put that all into investment accounts. And that's been my plan. Okay, and so far it's worked. Other people in my life have said, John, spend more money. I won't name names, but I just don't feel the need. I'd rather be set for life, and than save than try to chase the dragon. Now, the other mistake folks make is not having any what we call liquidity. Now, liquidity means money that you can access at any time. Now, real estate is not considered liquid because you may have $1 million worth of real estate, but you have to, it might take 6 months to sell the house and get that money, right? Investment accounts, depending on what sort of investment account it is, it could take a few days to actually access that money. You have to wait for the opening bell, sell the stock, then transfer the thing. The wire transfer takes 2 to 4 days or something like that. It goes from, so it could take, but stocks are considered pretty liquid. They are considered liquid in that sense, unless they're in some sort of like Roth IRA or some sort of retirement account where there's a whole different process. But if you have investment accounts used for trading, that's liquid. And also cash is considered liquid. 6 months of liquidity would mean that, in my case, I want to have 120K sit in the bank so that worst comes to worst, we live for, everything hits the fan, I have 6 months that I can figure out the next stuff. But usually people use it for medical bills, right? 6 months is almost a proxy for, if you have a big medical bill that happens out of the blue or a car accident or this or that, that's 6 months. It's not there for vacations, it's there for emergencies. And guess what? Emergencies and unexpected life events, again, I'm, only 36, but gosh darn, they happen all the time. Okay, that brings me to mistake number 3, which was folks neglecting their emergency fund. So I just talked about how you should have 6 months of emergency money saved up. Well, neglecting it is a big mistake too, because I know so many folks who say, I saved up an emergency fund and I got money and and this great cruise came up and I've always wanted to go on this cruise to Alaska and I deserve it, and there was this nice dress and I always wanted this dress and I deserve it, and I bought it with my emergency fund money. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do the emergency. The emergency fund is literally for emergencies. A dress, a cruise is not an emergency, so treat your emergency fund with care. Now, the next mistake folks make is not having, especially in your 40s, is if you're 20, it doesn't matter. But if you're in your 40s, not having enough insurance, because if you're in your 40s, you have a lot to live for. You're at the height of your power. You're at the height of your potential. You're at the height of what you can do and your wherewithal to make money or start businesses, or things should be coming together, and you shouldn't let things hold you back. And these emergency situations that can come out of the blue, like, a few years ago, my house burned down. Everything in it. Like, literally, it was a freak fire that came overnight. It burned down, like half of Malibu. It burned down, 25% of all the houses in my neighborhood. I'm in Malibu. And thank God I had insurance, because I was able to rebuild my house and get that back. Otherwise, I would have lost millions and millions of dollars right there, and I lost all my possessions. It was a huge rebuilding process. You can't replace all these possessions. But in your 40s, you gotta have that insurance. What happens if you accidentally, I was talking to this couple the other day at the Mexican restaurant I hang out at, and it's like a 50-year-old couple though, but they accidentally bumped this 90-year-old guy. He was in their car. The guy didn't fall over, nothing happened. He just, shook his hand at them. The guy died 2 weeks later, and his wife sued him or his daughter sued him for $2.5 million, saying they caused the death, even though nothing happened from it. They had to pay it. Their insurance policy was only $100,000. They had to pay $2.4 million out of pocket. They had to sell their house. They had to sell all their possessions, or sell what they can, divest their retirement accounts. It was awful, right? Ruined their life. So have insurance. Now, the fifth mistake people make is putting off estate planning, right? It's kind of a morbid subject. We're literally talking about your death here. But, estate planning is important depending on, I think in their 40s, lots of people get divorced. Freak accidents can happen, whatever. Now, what I recommend, and what my friends do, is what's called a generational skipping trust. So your kids, if you ever have the event of a divorce or anything like this, all your possessions are technically go to your kids anyways, and are owned in the trust for your kids, so it actually can't be taken from you. Estate planning, write up a will, write up your plan, and what could help. I haven't done this yet, but maybe I will, is like, I'm gonna write my estate plan as if what I will have when I die, when I'm, 90 years old. Like, what will I have? Like, I'm gonna make it into a game. I'm thinking about this now. Not 40 yet, but 4 years away. Like, my space yacht goes to, this person, and, this goes to this person. But you can make it fun, but, it's definitely a good idea if you're in your 40s. You're pretty old. You're getting old. Now, the next mistake is not prioritizing paying off your mortgage. If you're in your 40s, it's assumed you still have a mortgage. Pay it down, pay it off. Who knows where life's gonna go? You're at the height of your income potential. You're at the height of your income. So pay off your mortgage. These are the years. The 40s are the years. You want that mortgage off your plate, so your 50s and whatever else beyond there, you've got that property. If you don't have a property, get the property. Another mistake people make in their 40s is, it's really interesting, I've seen a lot, is this desire, I don't know what it is about when somebody hits the age of like 40 or 42, they just want to start remodeling things in their house. Like, let's turn this wall into stone, and let's redo our kitchen, let's change out, let's put surround sound everywhere. You just want to spend money on, changing around things in your house, right? You're getting a little old, I get it. You're in your 40s, you don't want to move around as much. You're making money, you want to spend it on the house. Don't just assume that it's an investment and it's going to improve the value of your house. That surround sound system you want to spend, $10,000 on, plus, repairs and stuff, might not increase the value of your house $10,000. Not everybody might care as much as you do about, about that sound system. So, again, prioritize paying off your mortgage, not endlessly remodeling. Another mistake I've seen folks making is in their 40s. I have a lot of friends, most of my friends are older than me actually, is overspending on children. I've heard so many folks, especially in California, which is like the biggest anti-family state in the nation, saying, you know, oh, kids are expensive. Kids are expensive. You know, when in reality, I think most of these single people are more expensive than, they spend more if they were single than if they had kids. Kids aren't expensive. My kids, their favorite thing to eat, you know, is Eggo waffles in the morning. It costs 20 cents a waffle. You know, favorite thing to eat for lunch? Kraft macaroni and cheese. Those things cost like 50 cents a carton or something like that. You know, so you don't need to overspend on kids. I think college education is brainwashing. Why would you send your kids to college anyways? You know, but there's so many things like that where, you know, what you think is like a necessary expense probably isn't. You know, your kids will turn out fine if you are a good and present parent and you instill the right morals in them. The ninth mistake I see folks making is over tapping their retirement savings. And this goes back to my point over here, which was neglecting your emergency fund. People do the same thing with their retirement. They say, oh, you know, let me use my retirement to buy a car. It's like, no. You know, like, don't do that. Your retirement is for your retirement, okay? Yeah, just treat that as your retirement and don't, you know, don't neglect it. Another mistake folks make in their 40s is not just diversifying their investments. You know, again, we don't know where the world's going. You know, I say America's collapsing, the American empire is collapsing in 5 to 10 years. Right, we're going to split into like a couple different sections, like 3 or 4 sections. A lot of sci-fi authors predict it. But you know, what does that mean for the currency? American stocks, you know, dividends, you know, like city bonds, municipal bonds, state bonds, you know, whatever. You know, I don't know. But if you don't have a diversified investment strategy, you're going to get hit at some point. The next mistake is just don't think being risk averse is a bad thing. Avoiding risk is really good. You don't have to be all risky in your 40s. The 12th mistake that a lot of 40-year-olds make is thinking that they're going to keep earning more and more money, okay? The 40s is traditionally the top. You're at the top of what your income's going to be. Now, of course, all of us always think the best years are to come, but the reality is if you're in your 40s, these are probably the best years. So don't spend money. Don't treat it like the best years are yet to come. Don't trick yourself. You know, again, practice, you know, don't overextend yourself. And the 13th tip I'll give you if you're in your 40s is do not neglect your health. I'm 36, I'm getting older, right? But what I do is I start the morning, literally, I roll out of bed. Like literally, I roll out and I hit the floor and I'm doing push-ups. 37 push-ups in the morning, like clockwork, you know, but I make sure I'm always, you know, I'm doing a lot, I'm working out during the day and other stuff, but the point is your health is so important. You know, eating, sleeping, exercise, you know, go out there and do it. You know, if the gym's too far away, right? I live in the middle of the mountains in Malibu, right? You know, there's no gyms. You know, the nearest gym is 15 minutes away from me. I get my workout. I'm gardening. I move rocks. I'm lifting rocks. I'm digging holes. I'll dig holes just to dig holes, you know, but I'm getting my workout in on my property, working at home without going to a gym. You know, I go for runs. You know, I switch things up. But the point being is, you know what, if gyms don't work for you, something else does. Your health is so important. You know, what I did was I got a Oura ring, A-U-R-A, or sorry, O-U-R-A. It's like some like Finnish company that tracks your sleep. I'm big on sleep hacking. I won't eat after 12 o'clock. You know, a lot of people eat after 12 o'clock. You know, I don't drink alcohol or smoke weed after 12 o'clock. You know, I make sure that I have some sort of healthiness. I drink a ton of water, because water is going to keep you going. You avoid a lot of health problems if you're just conscious about it and you think of those 3 main things. Again, it's sleep, exercise, and what you eat. So this has been John. I hope something helped you out here. This was a long video. 16 minutes, oh my gosh. And I'm not even 40 yet, but I'm close. So let me know what helped you out the most in the comments. Or let me know if I'm wrong on something, or let me know if you have other value that you can add to the audience. Again, we're trying to build a community here, and the way we build a community is we participate. So please participate. If you would like a free book, I have my book, you know, I've made my money in affiliate marketing, and I teach it to other folks now. And if you like a copy of my book for free, it's in the link in the description. Great seeing you. John Crestani here. Looking forward to seeing you in another video. Bye.